Hello, dear, beautiful, wonderful, fantastic world. Today, I would like to talk about patience is a virtue and is highly necessary when you're cultivating spiritual faculties and a spiritual view on life. Just as a children, when we are repeating and sitting down and studying the alphabet to integrate the concepts in our soul being, to understand it, you have to do the same things with spiritual faculties and concepts. But to have the patience, the virtue, and the calm to repeat and practice different kinds of spiritual techniques and then wait for results or wait for different effects or wait for different sensation. When you do this and you go inside these sensations to try to understand them, you are building spiritual faculties. Spiritual faculties are always here inside us. They are just underdeveloped and we are not aware of them yet. But when you become aware of it, it's like you're leveling up and opening up new abilities, like in RPGs and such. And you are growing and becoming more than you were before. We are not standing still. We are not programs of earlier childhood. We are a product of all of these things I just said, but our eye is choosing a lot of what we want to learn about in life. We are always expanding from our ancestors. We are becoming more than our ancestors. We are becoming deeper, more intelligent, more intricate when it comes to our world views and such. They were a lot more spiritual than us, and they had clairvoyant faculties where they gained knowledge and wisdom directly from the spiritual world. But since they gained it directly, they didn't need to search for it, look for it, and choose it themselves. They were chosen in it in a sense. But here today, we have faculties where we need to choose to be spiritual, where we need to choose to build our faculties for physical and practical life. When we do this, you will see that life becomes much more enjoyable, much more loving, and even in our lower states, even in our more depressive states, where we are contemplating and reflecting our more sad events in life, we have equanimity and we have a joy and a love for those feelings and those experiences. You can't shun them, you can't shy away from them, and you can't hide from them. They are a part of you. And when they are a part of you, you can either use them as excuses for hiding away from the world, or you can use them as powers, as abilities, and as strengths to cultivate more of what you need in life. It is a power, it is a will of choice. It is the choice of will, I mean. And when you choose it with your will, if you want, you have to long for it. You have to be curious about it. You have to have an awe for life and inspiration and experiences in general. And when you open up your heart and live from the inside out, where you spread yourself out to the world from your inner soul experiences and explore them and share them with the world, you live so much deeper. You live so much lovingly. It can't be explained in words yet because the words are not advanced enough and don't have the picturesque, the intuitive ways of exploring and explaining our inner world. We are still on the surface of things. We are still exploring and explaining the behaviors of the physical aspects of life. But the physical aspects of life are reflections of eternal processes of the universe. They are physical manifestations and crystallizations of spiritual faculties and processes. They are something more sublime than what we give them credit for today. When you observe a flower and see the vibrant colors and the life of the flowers, the fibers, the history and the weather it has gone through, and the way it lives, the way it stretches to the sun, the way it absorbs water, the way it takes in nourishments, it is a whole being in on its own. And we have said that's a flower. And we have separated all these processes, and now it is just an object for, I don't know, watching randomly when we pass by it. We don't enjoy reality anymore. But to enjoy reality, we have to choose this, or we shall choose this. We and everyone that wants to do this are welcome to follow my path, are welcome to follow our path, all of our path. We are everyone trying to wake up to this. Even though you don't think you want it, all of these spiritual processes are working on your soul, body, and spirit. Either you acknowledge it or not. Even though you don't believe in, this is just an example, oxygen. It is still working inside your lungs. Even though you don't believe in light, it is still showing objects through our eyesight. You get my drift. These underlying processes are to be known, to be explored, experienced, and to be understood. And the more you have patience with it, you have to be patient. You can't stress these things. You can't forcefully try to take your way inside the spiritual world. You have to have patience, impartiality, objectivity, and cosmic love. You got to have virtues that are not common and commonly thought in family, friend circles, society, and in general by humankind. These things has to be these things is an act of grace in many cases. The initiation to life is often pain and darkness. And when you overcome that pain and darkness, the Spirit chooses you. The Spirit chooses you to be an advocate for beauty, truth, love, culture, virtues, integrity, dignity, all of these soul faculties that is to be given to the world in the form of art, in the form of communication, in the form of patience. This is the thoughts I always ponder upon, always contemplate upon, always build up, always live. I live in the spiritual world, in the physical. The physical world is a reflection of the spiritual. And when you see the eternal processes in what is finite and what is limited, what dies off and comes back again in waves and forms, by observing and by experimenting and exploring. But you got to have a longing, curiosity, and awe. You have to be childlike in your nature and be open to, oh, what is that? That's something new. And when something new comes, you have to be open to new opinions, to new forms of absorbing this, because old experiences are already lined up to have your opinions put on that new thing so that it becomes less than it really is. You know what I mean. You project something that you think it is on something that it really is, and then it becomes less than. It becomes less spiritual, less alive. You have to put the life in it. You have to put life in life again. You have to choose this. And when you choose it and overcome the darkness, the Spirit will give you life. Most people are looking to other people for guidance and for safety and comfort. But I don't go to any human. I go to the spiritual. I go to the moral, the ethical. So I ask myself. I build up my own opinions, views, and lifestyle to accommodate what we need today as humankind. It requires strength, bravery, and as I said, a curiosity and longing for the spiritual and life. Thanks everyone. May the divine hierarchies and all the ascended master in Christ bless us and guide us on this path of evolution and growth. Love you all. Goodbye.